Alex here from Golden Games. Here in the US, 2 weeks ago, they just released the new 2DS XL. So this is a great time now to start to consider your options in 2017, 2018, in which handheld or portable console that you might want to invest in. So I think the best way to start this video is to crack straight into a little look at the 2DS XL, because it's quite confusing. There's a lot of 3DS, 2DS hardware out there on the market, and I want to cover off some of the quick differences. So here's the new 2DS XL. If you're familiar with 3DS XL, you will know the main differences: the addition of a C-stick and the addition of the LZ and or ZL and ZR buttons on the back. And again, that's the major sort of like I guess operational differences. If you had the original 3DS like I did, or the newer tablet 2DS, that's the not the clamshell design, but the tablet, these guys actually have less RAM and less CPU power than the new hardware. What that means is there's exclusive games on the new 2DS, new 3DS, new 2DS XL and 3DS XL. So those exclusive games include things like Fire Emblem Warriors, Xenoblade Chronicles 3D, and also actually another important thing on the virtual console on these, the new 3DS, new 3DS XL. You also have the SNES or Super Nintendo Virtual Console. So again, those that don't manage to land themselves a SNES Mini on release, if you have one of these, you can still enjoy the SNES games until those become available. So that's quite an important thing. So the obvious takeaways here again, with the XL variants of the consoles, with the improved hardware, there's also an improved screen. Again, that's going to increase your sort of your gaming enjoyment out of these. But that's really the main sort of body difference and operational difference. And of course, there's a cost difference. The old, if you can find one of these, great. These might be in some Goodwills coming soon. But of the current hardware that's out there, the 2DS tablet goes for about $80, which is a fantastic entry to the market. But remember, there's some exclusive games you can't play from the 3DS and 2DS libraries. Well, 2DS you're fine, but any 3DS games, remember to check if you particularly want to play. For example, as I mentioned, Fire Emblem Warriors, forget about it. So that's the core difference between the hardware. So really, when we talk about your options going into 2017, 2018, it really becomes between in my opinion, the new 2DS XL and 3DS XL. That would be one option. The other option would be the PS Vita, and these are, in this lineup, these are the pure portables. Or you can consider the hybrid option, which would be the Switch. So remember, this is a console that can be played at home via the dock, but you can also take it out there on the street. So here's some core things to consider when you're making your choice. So just briefly, the 2DS and 3DS XLs, they have a huge game library. There is 1,138 3DS games. There is 1,862-ish 2DS games, which brings us up to a nice 3,000 number. It's also worth noting that there's still new games scheduled for release with this console. So you've got games going right out into 2018. So they're still bringing out new games. That really puts this in a strong category. So the PS Vita, 1,500 games at the moment. Important thing to note is that they've taken off first-party support, so Sony won't be pushing new games through this. So you'll be relying mainly on JRPGs, independent companies. One worth mentioning is Limited Run. So Limited Run produced physical copies of games that were involved in the were available in the console, and this means that you'll be able to go out there and buy new physical releases from Limited Run. There'll be other companies that do similar things, but this is one I love going to use. Every Friday I bang on download their stuff. Also with the Vita, you've got the TV, which allows you to pretty much stream or play some of your Vita games at home. Similar in concept, I guess, to to the Switch, you can put your games inside of that and play it on your TV and use a full pad, which is a really nice addition to the console. And that brings me swiftly on to the Nintendo Switch. Gotta love that. Nintendo Switch. So Nintendo Switch currently has 321 games or thereabout in actual release right now. It's worth noting though that only 42 of those are exclusives. What that means is that a lot of their library exists on the Wii U, in fact on some of the 3DS. So it's really not yet up and firing with a full library, but bear in mind this is a very new console. So the negative is if you want to go out there and play games right now, you have a small library. Potentially you may have played most of those games already, especially if you had a Wii U. So really when you look at all three of those, I would say the strongest just on the games released for the console would be the Vita at 1500, but the power of the 2DS library and the 3DS takes us up to around the 3000 mark. So really if you want to go out there and game right now and have access to lots of fantastic games, that would probably pip the 2DS or 3DS XL at the top of that bunch for that category. Let's talk about battery life then. So I've used all of these in the field and I can give you an approximate of the battery life that I experienced, and bear in mind I gaming quite heavily on these and that's primarily what I was doing. So the Switch, 2 to 3 hours, closer to 2 hours, that's probably the bottom of the category for gaming, but again the games are quite labor intensive. It's got a great screen and obviously it's chewing up a lot of resources on the tablet. If you go down next in the list, 2DS XL, I've clocked about 3 to 5 hours. It really depends again on the game. If you're using the 2DS games, you'll probably get something close to 7. But these are pretty notorious for their battery life. Some of the newer games, I think you'll probably be around the 3 to 4, 3 to 5 on that. And then on the Vita, that's 3 to 4 hours. So it kind of goes from worst to best. Goes to the Switch, the Vita, and unsurprisingly the 2DS, 3DS XL. So that's the thing to consider there. So that's how that stack up there. General notes on the console, again to reiterate, 2018 release is scheduled, no first party support apart from limited run, and of course this is a brand new console, so we're going to expect lots of titles, but let's not forget the limited library of the Wii U. I'm really hoping that doesn't happen with the Switch. Just worth thinking about though. It comes down to the ultimate question, cost. This is going to run you about $400 if you can get hold of it. It's got lots of peripherals as a hybrid, as you'd expect, and they run quite expensive as well. So this is the dearest of the machines. Again, so the grower, not the shower, and the most expensive. The Vita on Amazon right now, and I'll link in the description, you can pick this up for like $200 in the slim variant, which is great value for money considering the size of the library that you can go out there and get. I spoke earlier on about the 2DS tablet, that comes in at about $80, but again, it's limited with the games that you can play. The 2DS XL is fantastic value at $150. I haven't got it right now, but I do have a 3DS XL, and I can tell you the build quality on the 3DS XL is a lot better. You can pick up the Galaxy variant for $175, so for just $25 much, you get the 3D, better build quality. I'd pump towards that if you're not put off by the colouring. But I would actually hold off and buy the Metroid version of the 3DS XL, which is on pre-order right now. That has the balance of everything, all the benefits, and it's only $200. So $50 more, you get 3D, slightly better build quality in my opinion. There's also a few quirks to the 2DS XL that I found. The speaker location and the camera location are less than ideal. So the speakers don't play out at you, they sort of play down. But again, if you're using headphones, it's negligible, don't worry about it. If we look at a balance of everything, in order, I would go 3DS XL, and I'd buy the Metroid version that's coming out. That would be my top choice. Huge library, new games coming. If you want to go out there and you want to game as you go right now and play latest titles, it would be this. Second would be the Vita. It's got a fantastic spread of library. It's got great games, sports titles play great on this. You've got RPGs until the cows come home. With the TV and the limited run brewing out there, that makes it a really enjoyable console to play. And like I say, huge library of games there. Thirdly, because of cost, game availability, I would put the Switch. If you're going to buy it right now. If you're going to buy something that you want to, have a bit of future proofing on, and you want to keep up to date with the latest games, then obviously the Switch would be your top choice, but it comes at a premium. For $400, I could buy the 2DS XL, for example, and a whole bunch of games and accessories, or I could buy a PS Vita with a PS TV and a couple of games. So really it comes down to your budget, but my top choice would be the 3DS XL, and I'd buy the Metroid version, which is coming out shortly. If I'm on a real tight budget, I wouldn't go down as far as a 2DS XL, 2DS tablet, because of the limitations of some of the games I might want to play. So if I was on a real tight budget, I would be picking up the 2DS XL. So hey, I hope that gives us a bit of an insight or some ideas and how you'd like to spend your money on a portable.